morning, students. In the last class, we discussed with what are the functions with regard to RBI and what is the quantitative and qualitative control, and how or for what purpose an ombudsman is to be joined in order to check the things with regard to the commercial banks and all. So RBI is appointing the banking ombudsman. Okay. So that is the case. And also we see what all things with regard to the banking ombudsman need to do. That is need to be, yesterday we see the functions with regard to a banking ombudsman like that. So I'm going to again share this with you, the things. Banking ombudsman, I think here, excuse me. So the procedure for the redressal of the grievances between the commercial banks and all, like there are several points with regard to, and what all information need to be collected by the banking ombudsman that we see in the previous classes also. And now what is the thing is settlement by agreement. What is that? So three methods are there. So firstly, he need to recall the information. He need to recall the information. So that is settlement by agreement. On receipt of the complaint as well as the information from the banks concerned, the banking ombudsman shall try to promote a settlement of the complaint by means of an agreement between the complainant who is giving the complaint and the bank. There should be some arbitration or the mediation to be conducted. അതായത് രണ്ടുപേരെയും വിളിച്ച് ഒരു മധ്യസ്ഥ ചർച്ചയ്ക്ക് തുനിയുന്നു. ആദ്യത്തെ കേസ് അതാണ്, സെറ്റിൽമെന്റ് ബൈ എഗ്രിമെന്റ്. For such a purpose of promoting a settlement of the complaint, the ombudsman may follow any procedure that he considers appropriate, and at any cost he shall not be bound by the legal rule of evidence. That is, through an agreement and through a mediator talk or the conciliation or an arbitration, maybe the problem will be solved. That is the first step, settlement by agreement. Second is settlement by recommendation. So what is the recommendation done? If settlement by agreement is not possible within a period of 1 month from the date of the receipt of the complaint, the banking ombudsman may make a recommendation on the basis of what is fair in his opinion by taking into consideration all the circumstances. എല്ലാ സാഹചര്യങ്ങളും എടുത്തിട്ട് മനസ്സിലാക്കിയിട്ട് he need to understandable about the situation with regard to the complainant and also the bank. Then what is the fair thing? How to solve the problem? What is the fair thing in his opinion, in the ombudsman's opinion, he is deciding. That is the case. If the settlement by agreement is not possible within a period of 1 month, അപ്പോൾ ആദ്യം എഗ്രിമെന്റ് നടത്തുന്നു, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒന്ന് മധ്യസ്ഥ ചർച്ചയ്ക്ക് രണ്ടുപേരെയും കൂട്ടിയിരുത്തി ഒരു ചർച്ച നടത്തി ഇത് പരിഹരിക്കാവോ നോക്കുന്നു. അത് കവിഞ്ഞു പോവുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഓവർ ആൻഡ് അബവ് ദിസ്, then the date of the receipt of the complaint within a period of 1 month, the banking ombudsman make a recommendation or make a solution on the basis of what is fair in his opinion by taking into consideration all the aspects. Second is, the copies of such a recommendation must be sent to the complainant and the bank concerned. ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻ, ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു മധ്യസ്ഥ ചർച്ചയും ഇതെല്ലാം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് വീണ്ടും ഇതേ രീതിയിൽ തന്നെ തുടരുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഇയാളുടെ ഇതില് ഒപ്പീനിയനില് എന്താണ് വരുന്നത്, ആരുടെ, ഓംബുഡ്സ്മാന്റെ. സോ he need to solve that through the recommendation provided, and he should send that in copy, that recommendation, to the complainant as well as the bank itself. Complainant പരാതി കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നവർക്കും ബാങ്കിനും എന്ത് കൊടുക്കുന്നു, copies of such a recommendation. Third point, if the complainant accepts all the terms of the recommendation in full, including the final settlement of his complaint, he must send his acceptance in writing within 2 weeks from the date of receipt of the recommendation. So if the complainant accepts all the terms of the recommendation in full, പരാതിക്കാരൻ ഈ ഓംബുഡ്സ്മാൻ അയച്ച ആ ഒരു തിങ്, ആ ഒരു ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്, that document That should be final settlement of the complaint. That accept cheyigana engil he must send his acceptance in writing within 2 weeks from the date of the receipt of such a recommendation. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു recommendation കൊടുത്തിട്ട് within 2 weeks ഇനുള്ളിൽ he should be, if he is accepting that solution or the recommendation provided by the ombudsman for such a case, then in writing within 2 weeks from the date of receipt of the recommendation, he should accept it in writing and send the copy to the ombudsman again. And then the banking ombudsman must forward a copy of the letter of acceptance given by the complainant to the bank. And if the recommendation is also acceptable by the bank, it must immediately settle the complaint as per the recommendation and inform it to the banking ombudsman also. Both the cases, what is their solution is there. Recommendation and both the parties are accepting it, then finalizing the case. That is the thing. So first case is what? Settlement by recommendation. That is settlement not possible within a period of that 1 month. Agreement pragaram, agreement, arbitration, mitigation, what is that? To what is the other word? Conciliation. A conciliation, mediation, in the arbitration. മധ്യസ്ഥ ചർച്ചയ്ക്ക് ശേഷവും ഇത് തന്നെ തുടർന്ന് പോവുകയാണെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? അയാൾക്ക് ഓംബുഡ്സ്മാന് അയാളുടേതായ ഡിസിഷൻ എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റും. Based on all the circumstances he need to consider. After അങ്ങനെ എടുക്കുന്ന recommendation, copies should be sent to both the parties, and both the parties should accept it within a period that is the 2 weeks from the date of the receipt of such a recommendation, and such an acceptance should be written in writing and given it back to the ombudsman also. And finally, if the bank also accept that solution, then that case is over. അതാണ് ഇവിടെ പറഞ്ഞത്. And one more point is there. If the recommendation is not acceptable, it must inform the banking ombudsman within a period of 2 weeks. 2 ആഴ്ചയ്ക്കുള്ളിൽ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കണം. If the bank is not accepting. If the complainant is accepting, then a written agreement or written acceptance letter should be framed and sent to the ombudsman so that he will send the same and he is waiting for the bank consent. If the bank is accepting, that case is final. If not, within a period of 2 weeks, he should send, the bank should inform the banking ombudsman. So that is second case by recommendation. So first is by agreement between mutual agreement between the parties, means an arbitration to be conducted or a conciliation to be done. Second is, if that is failed, then next option is what? Recommendation. And the third is settlement by an award. So what is that? If the complaint is not settled by an agreement or a recommendation within a period of 2 months from the date of the receipt of complaint, the banking ombudsman must inform the parties of his intention to pass an award. So such the complaint and the bank concerned can submit any further representation or evidence in support of their case within a period of 15 days from the days of notice for passing an award. Or award passing, that award, that is to be, means how to solve that issue. ഈ ഡിസ്പ്യൂട്ട് നമുക്ക് സോൾവ് ചെയ്യണം. ഈ ഡിസ്പ്യൂട്ട് സോൾവ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ 15 ദിവസത്തിനുള്ളിൽ വിത്തിൻ എ പീരീഡ് ഓഫ് 15 ഡേയ്സ് ഫ്രം ദ ഡേറ്റ് ഓഫ് നോട്ടീസ് ഫോർ പാസിംഗ് ആൻ അവാർഡ്, ദ കംപ്ലൈന്റ് ആൻഡ് ദ ബാങ്ക് കൺസേൺ ക്യാൻ സബ്മിറ്റ് ഫർദർ റെപ്രസെന്റേഷൻ ഓർ എനി എവിഡൻസ്. കൂടുതൽ തെളിവുകൾ അല്ലെ കൂടുതൽ ആൾക്കാരെ പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്റ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് അതിനകത്ത് പങ്കാളികളാക്കുന്നു. സോ ദാറ്റ് within a period of 15 days from the date of the notice for passing an award, the complaint or the bank need to be do such thing. That is, more evidence to be what is that? More evidence should be shown. Okay, that is the second point. And the third is, the banking ombudsman must pass an award after giving sufficient opportunities to the parties to represent their case. In passing an award, he must be guided by the evidences, the principles of banking law and practice, the directions or the instructions or the guidelines issued by the RBI from time to time, and such other factors that he considers necessary in the interest of justice also. So that is the case. The banking ombudsman must pass an award after giving sufficient opportunity to the parties to represent such a case. Several opportunities to be given to show that case. അതായത് എവിഡൻസ് എല്ലാം നിരത്തി അതിനെ ഖണ്ഡിക്കാനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യാനോ ഒക്കെയുള്ള പോസിബിലിറ്റി എന്ത് കൊടുക്കുന്നു? The banking ombudsman through such passing of an award. In passing an award, he must be guided by the evidences, the principles of the banking law and practices, the directions or the instructions or the guidelines issued by the RBI from time to time, and such other factors that he considers necessary in the interest of justice. So that is the case. Third one, banking ombudsman must pass such an award. Then the award must be in writing and it must state the directions to the bank for a specific performance of its obligation and the amount of the compensation awarded to the complainant for the loss suffered by him. എന്ത് നഷ്ടമാണ് ആ പരാതിക്കാരനുണ്ടായത് അതിന് കോമ്പൻസേറ്റ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് എമൗണ്ട് പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ ബാങ്കിനോട് പറയുന്നു. That is the case. So the award must be in writing and it must state the directions to the bank for specific performance of its obligation and the amount of the compensation that is awarded to the complainant then for the loss suffered by him. Such an award must be supported by valid reasons also. Then the amount of compensation should not be in excess of that which is necessary to cover the loss suffered by the complainant or for an amount fixed by the law from time to time. അതായത് amount of compensation should be in excess of that loss suffered by him. അതിൽ കൂടുതൽ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കണം. അത് അവരുടെ ഇതിൽ പറയുന്നതാണ്, ജഡ്ജ്മെന്റിൽ പറയുന്നതാണ് ആരുടെ, ഓംബുഡ്സ്മാന്റെ. അതായത് ആ കംപ്ലൈനന്റിന് നഷ്ടമുണ്ടായതിന് കൂടുതലായിട്ട് വേണം കോമ്പൻസേഷൻ കൊടുക്കാനായിട്ട്. ആൻഡ് എ കോപ്പി ഓഫ് ദ അവാർഡ് മസ്റ്റ് ബി സെൻഡ് ടു ദ കംപ്ലൈനന്റ് ആൻഡ് ദ ബാങ്ക് കൺസേൺഡ് ഓൾസോ. സോ ദീസ് ആർ ദ സ്റ്റെപ്സ് that to solve the problems between an ombudsman and the complainant and a bank. Clear? So that is the case. So firstly, an agreement to be undertaken. Secondly, the recommendations provided. And thirdly, an award to be passed. Finally, the award copy to be transferred to the bank itself as well as the complainant. So that is the case. And finally, the award shall be binding The award shall be binding on the bank only when the complainant sends a letter of acceptance of the award to the bank within a period of 1 month from the date of such an award. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു അവാർഡ് കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഒരു മാസത്തിനുള്ളിൽ the complainant should be accepting that award and send it to the bank. Send it. So that is the case. The award shall be binding on the bank only when the complainant sends a letter of acceptance of the award to the bank within a period of 1 month from the date of the award. And next is the bank concerned should comply with the award within 15 days from the date of the receipt of the acceptance letter from the complainant, and it should inform to the banking ombudsman also. And the non-compliance of such an award by any bank must be duly reported to the RBI. ഇവർ ഇത് അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല എങ്കിൽ ഈ ബാങ്ക് again and again they are not accepting such an award, then that should be reported to the RBI. So who is the person appointed by the ombudsman? Appointed RBI. So that is why they need to be taken care. So these are the steps while settling a dispute between the ombudsman and a complainant and a bank. So letter of agreement, letter of award, or the by an award or recommendation, or the what is that, the agreement between the mutual agreement between the both the parties. And rejection of such a complaint. If at any stage of the complaint the banking ombudsman feels that the complaint is made without any sufficient cause or that is not pursued by the complainant with reasonable diligence, or there is no loss or damage or inconvenience suffered by the complaint can be rejected immediately. So what is that? The banking ombudsman feels that the complaint is made without any sufficient cause. ഒരു കാരണവുമില്ലാതെ ആ ബാങ്കിനെതിരെ കംപ്ലൈന്റ് കൊടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ, or that is not pursued by the complainant with reasonable diligence, with utmost care is not there, or there is no loss or damage of the property, അയാൾക്കൊന്നും നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടിട്ടില്ല, അയാൾ വെറുതെ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു കംപ്ലൈന്റ് കൊടുക്കുകയാണ് എങ്കിൽ such a complaint can be rejected immediately. And amendment to such an act. The above scheme was amended in 2002 and the amended scheme came into effect from June 14, 2002. As per such an amendment, this scheme now covers the commercial banks, RRB, regional rural banks, and scheduled primary cooperative banks. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ബാങ്ക്സിന്റെ കേസിൽ ഏതൊക്കെയാണ്? വാണിജ്യ ബാങ്കുകൾ, റീജിയണൽ റൂറൽ ബാങ്ക്സ്, അതായത് റൂറൽ ഏരിയാസിലുള്ളതും ഷെഡ്യൂൾഡ് പ്രൈമറി കോഓപ്പറേറ്റീവ് ബാങ്ക്സ്, അവരാണ് ഇതിനകത്ത് ഈ അമെൻമെന്റിൽ ദി സ്കീം നൗ കവേഴ്സ്. സോ ഒരു ചേഞ്ചസ് വരുത്തിയായിരുന്നു ഇത് 2002. സോ അന്ന് തൊട്ട് ഈ പറയുന്ന ബാങ്കുകൾ അതാണ് ഇതിനകത്ത് കവേർഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്. അതായത് ഒന്ന് കൊമേഴ്ഷ്യൽ ബാങ്ക്സ്, ഒന്ന് റീജിയണൽ റൂറൽ ബാങ്ക്സ്, ഒന്ന് ഷെഡ്യൂൾഡ് പ്രൈമറി കോപ്പറേറ്റീവ് ബാങ്ക്സ്. And the RBI has launched this scheme from January 2006 to redress the public grievances in the banking transactions. Therefore, a special officer should be deputed by the RBI to serve as an ombudsman also. So, അങ്ങനെ 2006 മുതൽ ജാനുവരി 2006 മുതൽ പുതിയൊരു സ്കീം ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്തു. In order to reduce the problems with regard to the banking transaction, they launched this. അതിനു വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഒരു സ്പെഷ്യൽ ഓഫീസർ ടു ബി അപ്പോയിന്റഡ് ആസ് ദി banking ombudsman. So with that, we are going to close to conclude the first module. So please have a look at the classes and please clear off your doubts as and when occur. Thank you.